Alaska, a land of rugged beauty, untamed wilderness, and secrets whispered on the wind. But beneath the breathtaking vistas and icy serenity lies a darker history, a history etched in the ruins of abandoned settlements and the chilling tales they hold. One such place is Portlock, a ghost town nestled on the southern tip of the Kenai Peninsula. Once a bustling fishing village, Portlock is now a desolate reminder of a community lost. The silence that hangs heavy in the air is broken only by the mournful cry of the wind, a haunting symphony that whispers of forgotten lives and unanswered questions. What could have driven the people of Portlock to abandon their homes, leaving behind their possessions and the lives they had built? The story of Portlock is not merely a tale of abandonment. It is a journey into the heart of fear itself. It is a story where history, legend, and the unknown intertwine. Some secrets are better left buried. The wind carries more than just the scent of salt and pine through the skeletal remains of Portlock. It carries whispers of a troubled past, fragments of stories that hint at a darkness that once gripped this isolated community. These whispers, carried on the breeze, speak of strange occurrences, unexplained disappearances, and a growing sense of dread. Some dismiss these whispers as mere folklore, the product of overactive imaginations fueled by isolation and long, dark winters. But for those who choose to listen, the wind tells a different story. It speaks of a fear so profound, so deeply ingrained in the hearts of the villagers, that it drove them to abandon the only lives they had ever known. Some speak of a malevolent entity that stalked the forests, a creature of shadow and myth that preyed on the unsuspecting. Others whisper of a curse that befell the village, a darkness that seeped into the souls of its inhabitants, turning neighbor against neighbor. Whether rooted in truth or born of fear, these whispers paint a chilling portrait of a community teetering on the brink of collapse. They serve as a stark reminder that even in the most remote corners of the world, darkness can find a foothold. The line between reality and nightmare can blur with terrifying ease. Today, Portlock stands frozen in time, a haunting tableau of a bygone era. The buildings, once filled with life and laughter, now stand empty, their interiors slowly succumbing to the relentless march of nature. The silence is deafening, broken only by the creaking of timbers and the rustling of wind through the tall grass that now carpets the once bustling streets. Stepping into Portlock is like stepping into a forgotten photograph, the edges faded and the details obscured by time. It is a place where the past lingers, where the echoes of laughter and sorrow mingle in the air. But Portlock is more than just a collection of abandoned buildings. It is a testament to the enduring power of fear, a reminder that even the strongest of communities can be brought to their knees by forces they cannot comprehend. It is a place that begs us to confront the darkness that lurks at the edges of our understanding. The tale of Portlock is a haunting reminder that sometimes the most unsettling mysteries are those that defy explanation. It is a story that lingers long after the wind has died down. In the early 20th century, the untamed wilderness of Alaska beckoned to those seeking adventure and opportunity. Hardy souls sought fortunes in the rich fishing grounds off the Kenai Peninsula. Here, the village of Portlock, originally known as Port Chatham, took root. In 1912, a cannery was established, drawing workers and their families. Word spread, attracting a diverse group of individuals. Fishermen came seeking bountiful catches. Tradesmen lent their skills to the growing village. Families found solace in the close-knit community. Portlock was a place of hope and promise, a testament to the indomitable spirit of those who challenged the wild frontier. Life in early Portlock revolved around the ebb and flow of the tides, dictated by the bounty of the sea. The cannery processed tons of salmon and halibut, transforming them into canned goods. The air hummed with the sounds of industry, the clatter of machinery, the shouts of workers. Fishing was more than just a livelihood. It was woven into their existence. Fathers passed down their knowledge of the sea to sons. Wives and mothers played a vital role in ensuring the community's survival. Life in Portlock found moments of simple joy and camaraderie, Dances in the community hall provided a welcome respite. The sea, while bountiful, commanded respect and even fear. The allure of opportunity drew people to Portlock, creating a rich tapestry of cultures. Native Alaskans welcomed newcomers, sharing their knowledge of the land. European immigrants brought their traditions and dreams of a better life. Families shared their culinary heritage, filling the air with unfamiliar spices. Children embraced the diversity, learning each other's languages and games. The schoolhouse became a crucible where differences melted away. This blending of cultures fostered resilience and adaptability in Portlock. Despite the idyllic facade, unease rippled beneath daily life in Portlock. The wilderness, a source of sustenance and awe, held an air of mystery. Strange occurrences began to plague the village. Fishermen returned with tales of unsettling encounters. Elders whispered of ancient legends and creatures demanding respect. The Nantianak, a powerful entity, was said to inhabit the forests. The villagers, once united, were now bound by shared fear. The growing sense of unease in Portlock soon morphed into something more tangible, more terrifying. Experienced fishermen vanished without a trace, swallowed whole by the vastness of the sea. Hunters, venturing into the surrounding forests, failed to return. The disappearances cast a pall over the once thriving community. Fear spread through the narrow streets of Portlock. Whispers became frantic conversations about the fate of the missing. Some blamed treacherous currents or wild animals, but these explanations rang hollow for many. The legend of the Nantianak took on a new and terrifying significance. The creature was now blamed for the disappearances. The wilderness loomed large, a menacing presence closing in around them. Long before the cannery, the indigenous people of the Kenai Peninsula spoke of Nantianak. Passed down through generations, Nantianak was more than folklore. It was a cautionary tale. Nantianak was a guardian of the natural world, a protector of the forests and creatures. Said to be immense and strong, with eyes that glinted like ice in the moonlight. Some spoke of him as a shapeshifter, his presence felt rather than seen. Nantianak was a force of nature, demanding respect for the land and its creatures. Stories of Nantianak shaped their relationship with the natural world. Descriptions of Nantianak varied, shaped by the terror of those unfortunate enough to cross his path and the shadows that danced in the flickering light of campfires. Some spoke of a creature of immense size, towering over the tallest trees, its shadow stretching across the land like a creeping darkness. Others claimed he was more manlike, but with a hulking, muscular frame covered in thick, matted hair, the color of midnight or storm clouds. His eyes, they said, were the most unsettling feature, burning with an unnatural intensity, reflecting a wisdom born of centuries spent roaming the Alaskan wilderness. Some whispered of a foul odor that accompanied his presence, a pungent musk that spoke of wild places untouched by human hands. Others claimed he moved with an eerie silence, his footsteps leaving no trace on the soft earth, as if he glided through the forest like a phantom. Regardless of the specific details, all accounts of Nantianak shared a common thread, a sense of primal fear, a deep-seated dread that spoke to a power far beyond human comprehension. He was a creature born of the wild, his very existence a testament to the untamed spirit of the Alaskan wilderness, a reminder that some forces are best left undisturbed. Whispers of encounters with Nantianak were commonplace among the indigenous communities, woven into the fabric of their daily lives. Fishermen spoke of seeing a large, dark shape moving beneath the surface of the water, its wake creating unnatural ripples that disturbed their nets. Hunters returning from the deep woods told of being watched by unseen eyes, a feeling of unease clinging to them like the scent of pine needles and damp earth. Some claimed to have heard his guttural growl echoing through the valleys, a sound that sent shivers down their spines and turned their blood to ice. Children were warned not to stray too far from the village, lest they attract the attention of Nantianak, who was said to be particularly fond of snatching away disobedient youngsters. These stories, while intended to keep them safe, also served to reinforce the belief that the wilderness was a place of both wonder and danger, a delicate balance that demanded respect. While some dismissed these encounters as mere tricks of the light or the product of overactive imaginations, Others believed they were a sign that Nantianak was always watching, ever present, a silent guardian of his domain. These encounters, whether real or imagined, served as a constant reminder of the power that lay dormant in the heart of the Alaskan wilderness. As the village of Portlock grew, so too did the whispers of Nantianak. The indigenous people shared their stories with the newcomers, cautioning them to respect the land and its protector. Some heeded these warnings, embracing the wisdom of those who had lived in harmony with the wilderness for generations. Others, however, dismissed the tales as mere superstition, the ramblings of primitive minds. Blinded by their ambition and their belief in their own superiority, they pushed the boundaries, overfished the waters, and hunted without regard for the delicate balance of the ecosystem. As the years passed and the disappearances in Portlock began, a sense of unease settled upon the village. The stories of Nantianak, once dismissed as folklore, took on a new and terrifying significance. The wilderness, once a source of sustenance and wonder, now seemed to press in on them, a menacing presence that held the potential for both beauty and terror. The villagers, once united in their pursuit of a better life, now found themselves divided. Some clung to their belief in logic and reason, seeking rational explanations for the strange occurrences. Others, however, couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. Something ancient and powerful was watching them, its patience wearing thin.
The early disappearances in Portlock were unsettling, but often attributed to the inherent dangers of life in the Alaskan wilderness. The sea, for all its bounty, could be a cruel and unforgiving mistress, swallowing men and their vessels whole without a trace. A sudden storm, a rogue wave, a navigational error, any of these could explain the disappearance of a seasoned fisherman, leaving behind nothing but unanswered questions and grieving families. As the years progressed, however, the disappearances took on a more sinister tone. It wasn't just fishermen who vanished. Hunters venturing into the dense forests surrounding Portlock also failed to return. Their traps were found undisturbed, their dogs barking frantically at the edge of the wilderness, their scent disappearing abruptly as if swallowed by the very earth itself. These disappearances, occurring with alarming frequency, defied logical explanation. The missing were experienced outdoorsmen, intimately familiar with the land and its dangers. They knew the treacherous currents, the unpredictable weather patterns, the habits of the local wildlife. Yet they vanished without a trace, leaving behind a growing sense of unease and a chilling question. What unseen force was at play in the wilderness surrounding Portlock? The village, once a beacon of hope and opportunity, was slowly being consumed by an invisible threat, a creeping dread that wormed its way into the hearts of its inhabitants. As the disappearances in Portlock escalated, whispers of foul play began to circulate through the village, replacing the initial shock and grief with a palpable sense of suspicion and paranoia. The tight-knit community, once bound by shared dreams and hardships, now found itself fractured, trust eroding like the coastline under a relentless tide. Some clung to the belief that the missing had met with accidental ends, victims of their own miscalculations or the unforgiving nature of the Alaskan wilderness. Others, however, harbored darker suspicions, their minds conjuring up images of human cruelty and malice. Rumors spread like wildfire through the close-knit community. Some whispered of a recluse living deep in the woods, a hermit with a troubled past and a penchant for violence. Others spoke of rival fishing crews, their jealousy fueled by dwindling catches and a desperate need to protect their livelihoods. The authorities, faced with mounting pressure from the increasingly frantic villagers, launched investigations into the disappearances, but their efforts proved fruitless, yielding no concrete evidence, no logical explanations, only more questions and a growing sense that something sinister was afoot in Portlock.
The year 1949 marked a turning point in Portlock's troubled history. Fear boiled over, driving villagers to a desperate decision. Bodies recovered bore witness to unimaginable horrors. Whispers of Nantianak echoed through empty streets. The resilient community found themselves broken. The breaking point came swiftly. The decision to abandon Portlock was born of desperation. They fled into the Alaskan wilderness, praying for solace. With the departure of its inhabitants, Portlock succumbed to the relentless embrace of the Alaskan wilderness, its buildings slowly surrendering to time and the elements. The forest crept closer, its tendrils snaking through the streets, enveloping the structures. The once pristine homes, their windows shattered, became havens for birds and small animals, their interiors filled with nests and burrows, their silence broken only by the chirping of insects and the rustling of leaves. The cannery, once a symbol of human ingenuity and ambition, now stood as a rusted hulk, its machinery silent, its gears frozen in time, its presence a haunting reminder of the industry that once sustained the village. The paths were slowly swallowed by the encroaching undergrowth, their outlines barely visible beneath a carpet of moss and fallen leaves. The gardens returned to a state of wildness, their carefully cultivated flowers and vegetables replaced by a riot of native plants, their colors vibrant against the backdrop of decay. The sea, too, seemed to reclaim its dominion over Portlock. The docks, once crowded with fishing boats and bustling with activity, now stood on unsteady pilings, their timbers rotting, their surfaces slick with algae. The waves crashing relentlessly against the shore seemed to whisper the names of the missing, their voices carried on the wind, their stories woven into the very fabric of the abandoned village. Despite its abandonment, Portlock did not fade into obscurity. Stories of its haunting past and the unexplained events that led to its demise continued to circulate, drawing curious visitors and intrepid explorers to its desolate shores. Some came seeking answers, hoping to uncover the truth behind the disappearances and the gruesome discoveries that had terrified the villagers. Armed with cameras and notebooks, they documented the decaying buildings, the overgrown paths, and the remnants of a life interrupted, their imaginations fueled by the whispers of the past. Others came seeking adventure, drawn to the mystery and the frisson of fear that clung to the ruins like a shroud. They camped among the crumbling walls, exploring the abandoned houses and the overgrown trails, their laughter echoing through the silent streets, a jarring counterpoint to the silence that had reigned for decades. The indigenous people of the area, however, approached Portlock with a mixture of sadness and reverence. They saw the abandoned village as a testament to the power of the natural world and the importance of respecting its delicate balance. They spoke of the spirits that lingered among the ruins, the echoes of the past that whispered on the wind, reminding visitors of the price of hubris and the importance of living in harmony with nature. Today, the ruins of Portlock stand as a stark reminder of the fragility of human endeavors and the enduring power of the unknown. The village, once a symbol of hope and opportunity, now serves as a silent testament to the mysteries that lie hidden at the edges of our understanding. The truth behind the disappearances, the unexplained deaths, and the chilling stories that led to the abandonment of Portlock remains elusive. Some cling to the belief that Nantinak, the mythical creature of indigenous lore, played a role in the village's fate. Others point to more mundane explanations, natural disasters, accidents, or even the actions of desperate individuals driven to extremes by isolation and despair. But without concrete evidence, the true cause of Portlock's demise remains a matter of speculation. A chilling reminder that some secrets are destined to remain buried beneath layers of time. The legacy of Portlock extends beyond speculation and unanswered questions. It serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder that even in the face of adversity, we must never lose sight of our connection to the natural world. For in the end, it is not the answers we find, but the questions we ask that define our relationship with the unknown and shape our understanding of the world around us.
Decades have passed since the last residents of Portlock abandoned their homes, leaving the village to the mercy of the Alaskan wilderness. Yet the story of this forgotten place continues to echo through time.
The ruins of Portlock beckon to adventurers and researchers seeking to unravel the mystery that has haunted Alaska for generations. Modern-day explorers equipped with GPS devices and cameras seek tangible evidence to support the tales that have circulated for decades.
While the passage of time has erased much of Portlock's past, some remnants of its troubled history remain.
The ruins whisper tales of the people who once called this isolated village home. Personal belongings offer glimpses into the lives that were interrupted.
A child's doll, its porcelain face cracked, rests on a windowsill.
A faded wedding portrait, its frame cracked and warped, hangs askew on a wall.
The cannery, its machinery rusted and silent, still bears witness to the industry that once sustained Portlock. Despite the efforts of those drawn to Portlock's mysteries, the truth behind its abandonment remains elusive, a puzzle with missing pieces.
Did the villagers flee a real threat? A creature of myth made flesh? Or were they driven to madness by their own fear?
The lack of definitive answers only serves to amplify the mystery, fueling speculation and debate.
Was Nantinak, the mythical creature of indigenous lore, a real entity, a vengeful spirit punishing those who dared to disrupt the balance of nature?
Some believe that the answers to Portlock's mysteries lie buried beneath the layers of time and decay, waiting to be unearthed by those brave enough to seek them.
Others, however, believe that some secrets are better left buried, that the true nature of what transpired in Portlock is a darkness best left undisturbed.
The wind whispers through the skeletal remains of Portlock, Alaska, carrying echoes of a community lost, their dreams shattered. The silence is deafening, broken only by the creaking of timbers, the rustling of leaves, and the mournful cry of gulls. Was it the legend of Nantinak, the mythical creature said to roam the wilderness, that drove the villagers from their homes? Or were they victims of more earthly terrors? The answers remain shrouded in mystery, lost to the passage of time and the Alaskan wilderness. Portlock speaks of the delicate balance between humanity and nature, the fragility of our existence, and the allure of the unexplained. The tale of Portlock, Alaska, is not merely a local legend, a footnote in the annals of forgotten history. It is a story that resonates with a universal truth, a truth that speaks to the deepest recesses of the human psyche, our fascination with the unknown, our desire to make sense of a world that often defies explanation. We are drawn to stories like Portlock's because they challenge our perceptions, forcing us to confront the limits of our understanding. They remind us that despite our technological advancements, our insatiable thirst for knowledge, there are still forces at play in the universe that we cannot control, mysteries that may never be fully unraveled. But perhaps that is where the true allure of the unknown lies, in its ability to humble us, to remind us that we are but small players on a much larger stage, our lives intertwined with forces both seen and unseen, our destinies shaped by a confluence of events that often defy logic and reason. The story of Portlock, Alaska, is a story that stays with us long after we have turned the last page, its echoes lingering in the silence, its mysteries whispering on the wind, a constant reminder that the world is a far stranger and more wondrous place than we could ever imagine.